What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and today I'm back to talk about Warhammer 40K. In today's reading, we have one from Cypher, Lord of the Fallen, where we look into the Dark Angels breaking into the Imperial Palace to take out Cypher. Now, you would think this is pretty heretical, pretty traitorous, because anybody breaking into the Imperial Palace is going to be like the worst thing you can do. However, the Dark Angels are so intent in keeping their secret a secret, and that secret being that they actually have traitors amidst their ranks, that they will do anything and everything to actually go into the freaking Imperial Palace and take out one of their traitors. Yeah, the Dark Angels are something else, to say the least. But here, let's go ahead and dive into this excerpt as we see the Dark Angels committing treason, and they actually fight against the Custodians as well. So, let's dive right in. Have you ever seen a Custodian fight Space Marines? Some say that it's like watching a lion fighting wolves. There is insight in that, but it does not capture the whole truth. There are 10 Dark Angels with Mordachi in the dark of the Path of Martyrs. All of them are veterans, inductees of the Inner Circle, the elite. They are masters of war and killing. They move as seamless, fearless, devastating, lethal. Gunfire carves the dark into fire-orange tatters. Explosions roll thunder up to the ceiling high above. In that roar, the sound of Hecaron's grunt of effort is lost. The snap of his guardian spear, lightning a hiss lost to the deluge. He is the target of fire from Space Marines in prepared positions, with angles of fire, cover, and elevation. He is as good as dead. Except he's not. He's moving. Sustain fire, shouts Nariel. Hecaron reaches one of the Dark Angels. Just like that, he is there. Explosions shatter against the armor and send black and gold shards scattering with shrapnel. The explosive impacts would be enough to pulp a human inside their armor. They stagger Hecaron, but that's all. A lion, almost right. The edge of the Guardian Spear takes a Dark Angel in the throat. It's a single blow kill, chosen so that it does not interrupt Hecaron's charge. He is amongst them now, in the spaces and the shadows at the feet of the statues, a golden blur. His Guardian Spear, an arc of glinting steel and lightning. Another 2 Dark Angels are already dead at his feet. He is taller than them, his bulk greater, but he moves like the breath of a storm wind. Bring him down, shouts Mordachi into the Vox. Hecaron kills another, slicing through the warrior's torso from waist to shoulder. And he is still moving. The blood of the first Dark Angel to die is still falling. A mist is in the air when he kills the 4th. No, he is not a lion, but a lightning bolt. Another blow, another perfect cut that tears ceramite and flesh apart. One of the Dark Angels takes a step back, brings the barrel of his plasma gun up. Hecaron thrusts his spear out, the haft running through his fingers to his heel. The spear tip punches through the Space Marine's finger and slices it from the hand before he can pull the trigger of his gun. Hecaron sweeps the spear up before the weight of it drops and whirls it in an arc. The blade slices into another of the Dark Angels, through helm and into skull. The Dark Angel with the plasma gun has already switched the gun to his other hand without pause, ready to fire. Hecaron spins his spear so that it is in both hands, and triggers the gun mounted beneath the blade. Fire blasts into the Dark Angel's weapon. Plasma explodes out of the ruin of the gun. The Dark Angel dissolves, a blur of ash and ceramite. Dust is all that is left. 6. Custodian Warden Hecaron has killed 6 of the Dark Angels in the time it takes a human heart to beat as many times. Remarkable. You cannot help but admire the degree of lethality. I admire it. The Custodians are a breed apart from humanity and the Space Marines, the sharpest edge of mankind refined, a tyrant's genius idea of perfection. Clear back from him, shouts Mordachi, and you know what has to happen to something that is perfect. Clear, calls Nariel. You have been paying attention, haven't you? Now. The surviving Dark Angels that are close to Hecaron leap clear. A storm of lightning and telekinetic force breaks over the Custodian. Threads of white light bore into black and gold armor. Invisible ropes enfold limbs, tighten, squeeze. Hecaron keeps moving, straining against the power that is strangling and burning him. His mind and body are more than just his flesh and thought. His armor more than gold. Alchemy and stolen fire run through his veins. His will is adamant, ancient words etched into the inside of his armor, woven with the letters of his name. Frost is forming on him, and the stones beneath his feet. The air shivers. Mordaki is pouring all of his will into this. He feels blood vessels burst in his own throat and skull. The world is dimming before his eyes. But Hecaron slows. Yet he will never stop. He is not me or one of my fallen brothers. He is not so weak. But this is not just a battle of spirit, and Mordaki does not need to stop Hecaron. He just needs to give his brothers the seconds they need to aim and fire. 2 missiles streak from the sides of the Path of Martyrs. They strike him. A great pall of flame and dust and broken stone punch into the ceiling high above. Helm and auto-targeters lock onto Hecaron's last position. Bolters fire into the dust cloud. The silence that follows feels like the striking of a great bell. Mordaki keeps his psychic grip on Hecaron for a moment longer, then releases it. He staggers against the plinth of one of the statues. "Brother Librarian," asks Nariel. Mordaki does not move for a moment. Within his armor, he is shaking. Blood is clouding on the inside of his helm. The howls of the Golden Throne feels louder, sharper. His flesh is fever hot. Inside of his mind, the enormity of what they have just done and the effort it took is a cold abyss at the core of his thoughts. He feels empty. That is as it should be. What else should the price of breaking something perfect be? "Deal with our dead, Sergeant," he says to Nariel. "We have no time to wait." And Cypher? This was his doing. He has found another way into the sanctum and used us, his hunters, to end each other. We must find him before. He can't bring himself to say what he fears. He turns his back as Nariel and the survivors go to each of their dead brothers. The devotion they speak are brief. They lock and arm a plasma grenade to each. No precious gene seed will be taken from these dead warriors. They will go to the flames to keep dire secrets of their chapter and the shame of our legion. Then the dark angels leave in silence, passing within the inner sanctum through the door they thought I would use. But I am not done with them yet. They must pay for their sins, as do we all. But for now, they are free. Behind them, the charges detonate. Fire consumes the corpses. High above, unseen in the shadows, the assassins watch and follow. Why did they not intervene? Because they are the most precise kind of murderers in existence. They are there to hunt and kill me, and I was not there, and so they watched. If you think that they were on the same side as Hecaton, then you are deluded. There is no unity or purpose in the Imperium, and there is less in its ancient heart. And with that being said, guys, that was the end of this excerpt from the novel Cypher, Lord of the Fallen. So here we see that Cypher is basically playing this cat and mouse game with the Custodians and that of his own legion, the Dark Angels. However, he's kind of pitting them against one another, since the Dark Angels, in their fanatical nonsense, are trying to leave no traces behind, so any Custodian they come up against, they have to eliminate. And vice versa. To the Custodians, these Dark Angels, these Space Marines are intruders, so they have to be dealt with. And so we get this epic battle that literally has a single Custodian take out 4 Space Marines, or I believe it's 6 Space Marines, in just 6 seconds, before it takes a Psyker to incapacitate him, and then missile launchers and bolter fire to finally bring him down. All the while, Cypher is in the shadows, just watching it all happen. So that's pretty cool, and nonetheless we also get that last little excerpt that says that there are Imperial assassins on here as well. So a lot of things going on. Really crazy book. I definitely recommend you guys go ahead and read it for yourselves. This is just a small epic battle that is just one piece of the puzzle of this whole awesome novel. So again, guys, let me know any other topics, any other named characters, or any other battles you guys want to see in the comments down below. But for now, that's all I got for today. So as always, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and we'll be seeing you guys in the next one. This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you then. Peace.